After months of silence, Sharon Osbourne has finally opened up about the deeply touching and unexpected gesture King Charles III made in the wake of her husband Ozzy Osbourne's death. A gesture that has left her and her family profoundly moved. And now, for the first time since that heartbreaking day in July, Sharon, Kelly, and Jack Osbourne are breaking their silence, revealing emotional details and unseen moments that show just how much support they received from around the world. Sharon, who has long been known for her fierce personality, unfiltered honesty, and unwavering devotion to her family, appears more vulnerable than ever in the latest episode of the Osbournes Podcast. The episode marks the family's first public conversation about Ozzy's passing, a moment fans both dreaded and waited for. At age 76, the iconic frontman of Black Sabbath passed away on July 22nd after suffering a heart attack, following years of battling Parkinson's disease and ongoing heart issues. Though his illness was no secret, the loss still shattered millions. During the podcast, the Osbourne family revealed something that few expected: a hand-delivered, deeply personal letter from King Charles III himself. Not an assistant, not a palace secretary, not an official template letter. A message directly from the king, delivered quietly, respectfully, and privately to the Osbourne family home. Jack Osbourne was the first to mention it on the podcast. In a calm but emotionally weighted voice, he said, "We got a lovely letter from the king." Just hearing those words was enough to cause Sharon to pause, swallow hard, and gather herself before she continued. Sharon then added, "Our king is an amazing person. Not just because he wrote to us when Ozzy passed, but because he does this for so many people. He truly cares about the environment, the animals, and what's happening in the world. He's a good, caring man with a good heart." Her tone carried the kind of admiration that doesn't come from public image or political stance, but from genuine gratitude. But this moment wasn't the first time King Charles had reached out to their family. Sharon revealed, for the first time publicly, that Charles had also written to them in 2003, 21 years earlier, when Ozzy was hospitalized after a near-fatal motorbike accident. The accident had left Ozzy in intensive care, fighting for his life. Sharon said softly, "He didn't have to do that, but he took the time to write and check in. That shows what kind of person he really is." Her voice cracked halfway through the sentence, a rare moment of vulnerability from someone who spent decades as one of Hollywood's toughest women. Sharon went further, explaining that both she and Ozzy have always been royalists. They admired the royal family, respected the monarchy, and believed deeply in the dedication required to serve as a public figure on such a massive scale. So for them, a letter from the king wasn't just a polite gesture, it was something profoundly meaningful. He took time out of his day to write us again, to have it hand-delivered. A note from the king for Ozzy's passing with his condolences, that says so much. The hand-delivery detail stunned many listeners. It signaled respect, intimacy, and a powerful acknowledgement of Ozzy's massive cultural impact across Britain and the world. But the Osbourne family didn't only receive support from King Charles. Sharon revealed that messages, letters, flowers, and tributes poured in from around the globe. The support was so overwhelming, she admitted, she still hasn't been able to read through everything. Among the notable messages was one from former U.S. President Donald Trump. The unexpected note was described as very kind and thoughtful, showing how Ozzy's influence crossed political lines, national borders, and generations. Sharon also received tributes and heartfelt messages from artists whose careers were shaped, influenced, or inspired by Ozzy's legacy. Robbie Williams, Coldplay, Rod Stewart, Lady Gaga, members of the music community, actors, comedians, and entertainers, and countless fans from every corner of the world. But perhaps the most surprising tribute came from the King's Guard, a group known for strict tradition and rarely deviating from ceremonial norms. During the changing of the guard ceremony at Buckingham Palace, the band performed Black Sabbath's Paranoid, one of Ozzy's most iconic songs, a song that helped define heavy metal, a song that built an empire. Fans who witnessed the moment described it as surreal, unforgettable, and deeply emotional. Sharon said the tribute was amazing and insisted Ozzy would have loved it, especially knowing it came from the Queen's Guard, a group he deeply respected. And while the public tributes were stunning, private grief still weighs heavily on the Osbourne family. Kelly Osbourne, Ozzy's daughter, became emotional on the podcast, her voice trembling as she shared, "I just wanted more time." Her words captured the universal pain of losing a parent. No matter how prepared you think you are, no matter how much time you had, no matter how old they were. Sharon gently comforted her daughter, saying softly but firmly, he knew how much he was loved. He knew everything that was going on. The mother-daughter moment brought the studio to silence. Ozzy's funeral was held privately in his hometown of Birmingham, respecting his wishes. But thousands of fans lined the streets outside, singing, chanting, holding signs, and celebrating the life of the man who changed the course of rock music forever. Kelly described the scene as something she hadn't seen since the passing of Princess Diana, a comparison that reflects just how deeply Ozzy impacted global culture. Following the funeral and the wave of public mourning, Sharon took to Instagram to thank fans, writing, "Your tributes have carried me through many nights. None of it has gone unnoticed." She emphasized that the letters, messages, artwork, candles, and fan gatherings had given her strength during her hardest moments. And through all the grief, loss, memories, and messages, Sharon revealed the one thing King Charles' letter reminded her of. Kindness still matters. She repeated the phrase with a soft intensity that made listeners stop and think. In a world often filled with chaos, divisions, and coldness, the quiet act of a handwritten letter from a king, no less, meant everything. "He didn't have to write that letter," Sharon said again near the end of the podcast. "But he did, and that says everything." Her words were simple. Her message powerful. Her gratitude immeasurable. To Sharon, to Kelly, to Jack, and to millions of fans, Ozzy Osbourne wasn't just a rock star. He was a husband, a father, a friend, a survivor, a legend, and a symbol of resilience. And now, as the world continues to honor him, Sharon says she hopes people remember the same thing King Charles reminded her of. Kindness, compassion, humanity. Because even the smallest gesture can carry someone through the darkest night.